Okay, World of Wonder. We're going to be talking about another new grind today. We have the Jaws Raw C grind, which has been out on tour for a few months now. It's been kind of a tour favorite. It's a low bounce option. So we're going to get into that, hit a few shots around the greens. I'll explain what's going on here. It's the World of Wonder wedge testing time. Here we go. Okay, the C grind. Just a couple things to consider. Obviously, it's low bounce. It's the lowest bounce wedge that we make. Like any Jaws Raw wedge, we have the weight pad up here. And the C grind is a better player's grind. It's got kind of a sharper leading edge. There's not as much chamfer in the leading edge. Now, we launched Z grind initially to give tour and the consumer a nice friendly low bounce option, which gave R&D the time to really dial in the C grind to get the heel and toe relief perfectly and that leading edge to sit very close to the ground. So let's hit a couple of shots here. As you can see, I hit a good shot. This is into the grain, but a wedge with more bounce, and it doesn't have as aggressive a leading edge, probably is not interacting with the turf that much. So for me to sort of mitigate that, I got to open the face and play with a little bit more speed. So in certain conditions, like if I was going to the Open Championship where I know I'm not going to stick this into the ground, that's kind of when players like me anyway, so I'm never going to play in the Open, would go to a wedge like this. But the nice thing about it is, I'm going to take a shot here, is when you really want to lay it open, like if I'm hitting the big flopper, that gets under the turf really easily, a lot easier than what with a wedge with a ton of bounce. But now we're going to go into the bunker. I wouldn't advise hitting that shot at home, folks. Let's see if there's water on the other side of the green. Good way to make a double bogey. Okay, so now we're going to go into the bunker. This is where I really like grinds like the C grind. I'm more of a handsy bunker player. I like the onus of the shot to be on me. Wedges with too much bounce, you're kind of too dependent on the wedge. I like wedges a little bit lower bounce out of the bunkers because I like to kind of control the golf ball on my own with my hands, and that's kind of what the C grind is. So let's hit a couple of bunker shots. I loved how that felt. As you can see, it's kind of a shallow divot there. Let's hit a couple more. And I feel like I can really generate some speed with my hands with this kind of grind because I know the club is going to slide through the turf. Kind of a fun shot. All right, let's hit one more. See if I can get one up in the air. We'll wrap this up. Kind of tell you who this wedge is for. Low hands, almost like a driver swing. Fight that. Plenty of spin. But the C grind is, who's it for? It's for your better player that kind of wants the onus of the shot to be on them. It's players that don't want to rely so much on bounce and forgiveness, but want to kind of take control of the shot with their own hands or their own feels. If you have any more questions on the C grind or the X grind or the W grind or the S grind or any other grinds we have, go to CallawayGolf.com, World of Wonder website. This is a cool wedge, but make sure you know what you're doing before you put your hands on this one. This one's like a surgeon's tool. It's Johnny Wunder from the bunker. We're out of here.